Today I received a message from my collaborator, Marissa. She's a writer in Canada, and I hired her for a project to build an online tool. Marissa is sick, and so she sent me a message informing me of that. This prompted me to think about the common situation where I've been in Marissa's shoes, and I've been sick, and I had to deal with my clients or my employers when I fall sick. I've been an employee many times, and I've been an employer even more times. The situation seems to be the same with this situation of calling in sick. So, on the employee side, I always feel guilty. I'm letting the team down, and I feel like I have to push through the sickness and continue to work. On the employer side, I feel almost compelled whenever somebody calls in sick to put pressure on the employee who called in sick, just because I don't want it to become a habit, quote unquote. This is the myth that I want to address in this video. This natural psychological tendency that we have that creates this cultural myth that assumes that people who are calling in sick are lying and being lazy. A lot of jokes is made about that. A lot of comedy skits are made around that. But we have to address this tendency because it's not productive to work when we're sick. And it's well known that it's not productive to do that. And working when we're sick means that the disease or the impact of the sickness spread because we're not taking time to recover. And the pressure to me seems to come from two factors. First one is that a lot of work are unnecessarily scheduled, unrealistically scheduled. Most of the scheduling happens to assume that resources, including human resources, will be available 100% of the time. That's poor and unrealistic planning. The second factor related to that is that we seem to hang our worth on being 100% available for whatever it is. As a parent, I feel that. As teachers, we do that. For most of the workplaces, we do that. That we assume that when we take on a role, we're going to be available 100% of the time. So, if we're not 100% available, then what are we worth? It is this question of worth. What value do we bring to the world besides being always available? Because if our only value is being 100% available to your team, then you're going to do silly things like push our way through sickness. And I've done that. And a lot of times I still feel compelled to do that. So when I think then beyond availability as being my true worth, then I think about other things. For instance, I think about what my value is to my family. So if my family is more important than always being available, then I would resist pushing myself through work, through sickness to continue to work because it impacts on my family, because it makes them sick if I continue to work, and I end up needing them to take care of me. So another example is that if I value, for instance, my creativity and my productivity more than I value being 100% available. Now, if I push myself through sickness to work, then I produce less creative work, and therefore the value of me being creative is a lot more than being 100% available. So this example then with my collaborator Marissa, and not only with her but also for all my projects, my primary thing that's most valuable to me in all my projects and my collaborators is our working relationship. Marissa and I have a good working relationship, and as a result of that, we produce wonderful things. It is that worth, what is worth for me to preserve is that relationship over the long term, rather than try and pressure or squeeze 1 to 2 hours out of her. My focus when she's sick then is our working relationship that she's able to maintain over the long term, that working relationship. So my response to her then is for her to rest and to get well, because that contribution to our working relationship is a lot more than her pushing through. So I think my main message out of this reflection is that the next time you might feel that you're being sick, but then you feel like you need to act like you're superhuman and push through it, think about what's valuable for you. What is your value to the world? And you find that a lot of times it's not being 100% available. So I hope that helps